from Dragon the Line Podcast. I'm your host with the most, One More Sanchez, and joining me today on Zoom is a hilarious and talented comedian, writer, producer. He's also host of Hot Pudge Sunday. I'll bring you guys Pudge Fernandez. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. I know you were here in Austin not too long ago on Kill Tony, the episode 505.
Yes.
And I was like, man, I got to have you on the show. But before we go to that, I did want to also tell you thank you so much for your service, man. I know you served with us for 8 years, so I appreciate it. I'm big on that.
No worries. Thank you. I was one of the, I lucked out. I'm here. So there was guys who did more. But thanks.
Talk to me about your podcast.
It was an Instagram Live is what I was doing. As we all know, the pandemic hit. And as far as the comedians are concerned, everything shut down and comedy was gone. And that's where we all went like bananas, either finding alternate ways to express ourselves. Some had secret shows, rooftop shows, underground shows in the park, in the public, in the trains. And some of us went to technology with podcasts or Instagram. As I was saying before we went on, I'm technologically stupid. So I couldn't exactly hit the ground running. And it was one of my Achilles heel in comedy. I've been 15 years in, hitting it hard and writing and the craft and all that. But the technology, social media side wasn't up to speed. So I used this pandemic shutdown to catch up. So a huge plus for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I just turned 40 and this whole technology thing is just another world from what we grew up with. So same thing. I started the podcast it was either this or get a divorce, man. So I was like, I'm going to do this shit.
She was happy.
Tell us a little bit about that journey. Do you do a lot of traveling or do you stay local?
Initially for the first decade was, I'd say local, but in New York City, local is the 5 boroughs, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. It's 4 states right within an hour's reach. So that's pretty local. Connecticut is right upstairs above Bronx. I never really went out of other states. Maybe after I don't know, 10, 11, 12, somebody, a headliner took me on the road and we went to Minneapolis, North Dakota, South Dakota, up there in the Midwest and Kentucky and those places. Yeah, 15 years, long haul. It's hard. I don't know. It's fucking hard, man. It doesn't get any easier. It's always hard work. And when I started, I had no fucking clue. I had no idea. I know I wanted to be a comic. So it's hilarious. I want to be a stand-up comedian, but you have no clue to what it takes. And from writing a joke to being accepted to a club to social life, it's this whole other spectrum. I don't think, unless you're a comic, people don't know. They just see Kevin Hart and Fluffy and Jerry Seinfeld and oh my God, they're so funny, but they don't see the years behind it and the work. And I was just telling another comedian, we deserve a degree. We deserve like a college degree for this shit because it's everything that you do in high school and college. It's physical, it's scientific, it's mathematical, it's reading, it's writing, it's psychology, it's phys ed, it's everything. So it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you say that because my two passions, I love comedy and I love boxing. And I was just talking to one of the interviews I did is as a comic, I've never been on your side, but to memorize your lines, the distractions that you have with all the drunk fucks, to see if, let's say you got distracted, now you got to go back on task. That's got to be hard, man. And that, that itself and what you come up with.
Yes, it takes years. Yes, it is possible. It is feasible, and it becomes easier. But yes, in the beginning, it's soup sandwich. In the beginning, you're so you're only focused on one thing, remembering your lines. All you have, it's not even like this. I just want to remember my lines, and this is all you have. And it gets knocked, and then whether it's a heckle, an interruption, somebody told my name was wrong or something, you get knocked out like that, and before you know it, you lose it, and it's all out the fucking shitter. So yeah, it takes years of failing, and before you know it, you go, okay, I got this. You get used to it.
What got you into comedy?
I was attracted to comedy at a young age. 4, I'd say at least 4. The basic Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry. But by the age of 5, 6, 7, I had evolved to Abbott and Costello, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, Benny Hill. I was watching some serious shows at a very young age.
I call them my daycare people. They used to take care of me. Mom put on the TVs, let me go.
You reminded me of my babysitter. My babysitter was Lucy. Lucy was my babysitter every day. After school, I'd see her 2 episodes. And in the summertime, when there was no school, she'd have have 2 episodes or 4 episodes in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. So Lucy was my babysitter. And I was attracted to it. And I guess I just absorbed it. And then one day, Eddie Murphy Delirious, and my brain exploded. And I exploded. And then I became a stand-up comedy fan. And then I heard a Bill Cosby album, a Steve Martin now. Paul Rodriguez, when I saw his HBO special, was influential because he was my first Latino. And I was like, oh shit, he looks and sounds like a family member and he's doing this. So he was very influential. So I just became a fan of stand-up comedy. It wasn't until my teenage years that I actually considered it. And I was 18 when I saw a flyer for an open mic. And I was like, oh shit. And that was like, it was like a message from God, but I didn't pick up. I was a knucklehead. I was running around in the streets. I had a car, I had a job, I had a girlfriend, so I was good. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
I thought I had a girlfriend and a car and a job part-time in the mall. But yo, I was the man. You know what I'm saying? And I was running with my friends and doing shit and trying not to get arrested, but we were doing shit that could have. So I lost that focus. And then I joined the military to get away from getting in trouble. And within a period of 4 months, I became a soldier, a father, and a husband. So any comedy aspirations just went like this, just took a hard left and disappeared. It wasn't until I was 32, it came back and I started.
That's what I was going to. And how do you come up with your material? I know you talked a little bit about Paul Rodriguez being Latino inspiration. What inspires you to write your material for the 15 years that you've been with?
Initially, I made every single mistake that every comedian does when they first start. I want to be funny, so I'm going to try to be funny. So I'm going to try things that I think will be funny. Dick jokes, pussy jokes, drug jokes. Stupid as shit. It's just because there's no real training for this. So you just make every single mistake and you fail miserably. But then I picked up a book, a comedy Bible, and it taught me a lot. It put me on the right track as far as how to write a joke. I didn't know there was a formula to a joke. Like I said, it's a science. It is a science. There's an actual basic formula. And then just by reading and watching people, and eventually I just started talking about myself. That was like the best advice that I've heard from several different people in places and books and meeting. Just if you write about yourself, no one can copy you, and nobody's more unique than you are. So I kept it over the years more and more personal, observational too, but it's my observation, my slant. I'm just not going to talk about something because I think it's funny unless I have an emotion behind it. So very me, very my life, my observation, personal feelings. So that's why I think I'm it's called finding your voice. That's what it's called. That's every comedian's path. You're learning how to write. You're learning how to be funny. You're learning all those other things. Like you said, distractions. There's a whole bunch of nuances you got to fucking learn. How to stand on stage, how to pick up a mic, where to stand, how to use the chair, how to use a bottle of water. It's ridiculous. But all along, you're finding who you are. Who are you? Your organic self. And it's hard. It's not easy. But I think I'm practically there. I have a friend who's helping me out. There's always somebody from the outside looking like, Pudge, when you said this at this place, the way you did it, that's you. That's who you are.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, really? I'll go there. And slowly, it takes time, but yeah, I'm getting there.
I'm pretty sure you've ran into some of the comedians that are popular. It's been told that sometimes they act like dicks and assholes and they forget where they come from. First off, is that true, or do they still show everyone love? They're still themselves?
Okay, I had 3 meetings with 3 particular famous comedians. The first one, I was a bouncer at a club. And early on when I was an open micer, and Monique came in, and she came in a VIP, and I was holding down the VIP. And she came in and I said, hey, I love your work. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm like, damn, if I can have just a fraction of what you have, because you're awesome. She's hilarious, and she's all. It was short and it was sweet, and we're in a club, so the music's banging and we couldn't have a conversation. But she just looked me dead in my eyes. She said, baby, just don't quit. I was like, baby, just don't quit. Just don't quit. And I was like, cool, thank you. And that was it. So I'm at another club. Again, I'm a bouncer. Private party. Some stupid magazine release party. One of these fucking douchey parties. I don't give with the champagne and beaches and whatever. Where's security? I don't give a fuck. But a car pulls up, and out comes John Leguizamo. Now, John Leguizamo is a personal favorite of mine because he's from Queens. We're literally from the same neighborhoods. And he's also Colombian background, which I am also. So he's a special favorite of mine. So when he came out, I was like, oh, shit. And he came in, he passed by me. I shook his hand. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have known you were coming. I got your book. I would have, want your autograph. He said, hey, I would have gave it to you if you had it. And so it was a quick chuckle. And then he went to the back into the VIP section. So I had to talk to him. So I called my friend on the radio. I'd be like, yo, dog, swap out with me. I swap out. I gotta speak to John Lopez. I got him. You know what I'm saying? He's like a hero, a favorite. So he swapped out. I went to the VIP. I introduced myself, and I was like, hey, Mr. Leguizamo, it's an honor to meet you. My name is Pudge. And he looks at me. He's like, yeah, I see why. And right off the bat, he jabbed me. He fucking jabbed me. And that's what I was talking about, the voice, about finding who you are. John Leguizamo, who he on stage is who he is as a person. So when he took that jab at me, it was like, that's him. That's so him. That's so organic. We just met, and he took a fat jab at me, and it was like the most beautiful thing on earth. And we started talking, yo, I'm from Queens. And he's like, yeah, he's from Queens. And we started talking about schools and this, and where'd you go? Where did I go? This neighborhood, that neighborhood. So we were just reminiscing. So I had to wrap it up because I had to get back to my post. So I was like, yo, John, listen, I'm up and coming. I'm working hard, whatever. If you have any advice? And he just says, stage time, stage time, stage time. You got to hit the stage every day. So I got a little sad because I told him, I was like, yeah, I know that, but I got a family. And then he looked at me and he's, oh, that sucks. That's straight up, honest. This is Queens. Like, oh, that sucks. But then he gave me this advice that I always held on to. And he said, look, you're still going to make it. It's just going to take you longer. So I'm like, all right, cool. So that's huge. He's like, okay, I'm still going to make it because a family is a huge package to be carrying while you're trying to live this dream, but it's going to take me longer. So I'm like, cool, thank you. I hope to work with you in the future. And I went back to my post. So that was that. The last one, and this was hilarious. Tracy Morgan, SNL, 30 Rock. This was years ago. Again, at the club. He was at a VIP, came with two friends. We closed down the club. The lights are on. We leave him alone. VIPs get left alone. When they're ready to leave, they leave. Lights are on. Music's off. He's walking out. And he passes by me. And I just said, hey, Mr. Morgan, I'm a fan of yours. I really enjoy your work. And he looks at me and he's, I know you do, nigga. Watching me since you was a baby. And I was not, that's Tracy. Again, voice, who you are as a person and who you are. That's Tracy Morgan. And I wasn't prepared for that. I just grew up watching Tracy on SNL, but I didn't know him like that. And he came, and my boss was laughing his ass because the shock in my face. I wasn't expecting that at me shit, but that was him. And I was like, holy shit, hilarious. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to watch what you say because everyone's so fucking sensitive now?
Fuck that shit. Okay. We all have freedom of speech. That's in our Constitution. But I feel as comedians, we have this next level. We have freedom of speech square. There's another level because we can see things that other people don't see, and we go deeper and we flip it. We twist it. We're like also like say it's like we're like archaeologists. There's these hieroglyphics that nobody knows what the fuck they say, but these archaeologists can read it and translate it. And that's what we do. We translate the everyday shit and we give it to you. And that's funny. But now with this PC fucking generation, this cancel fucking generation, it made it more difficult. It made it harder. And a lot of people are walking on eggshells, or they've switched lanes. I'm not switching shit. I'm just going to be myself. I want you to follow me if you like me. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, even if it's always been who you like. It's that simple. So this Jerry Seinfeld is an awesome, one of the best well-written comedians out there. And some people don't like him. He's still a billionaire. He still has millions of followers. Chris Rock is amazing. Some people don't like him. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're either going to like you and follow you or not. So I'm just going to do me. And if there are some touchy subjects, there's always been touchy subjects. And that's part of the challenge and the craft of comedy is how to weave it, how to backdoor it, how do you slide it in there so you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Like politics. I used to have about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm not a political comedian. I had 3 or 4 minutes that every time it was a political year, I'd open up with it. I'd close with it, open it with it, or stick it in the middle. It was fluffy, very fluff. It wasn't even, but then when 2016 election came around, the whole country fucking shit hit the fan. Everybody became sensitive. I pulled it out of the show right around the inauguration, and I lost the room. I lost some lady got triggered. She was on the left. She went nuts. And then the guy who's on the right, on the other side, and I'm on stage like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm doing a 30-minute set, and it's just bizarre. and fucking nuts. I had to drop it for a while and rethink it because they're not going to stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop. I just got to refigure how I'm going to package it now. So like before I used to walk in the front door. Now I got to bring it in the back door, bring it in the side. And that's all we got to do, I feel, as comedians. But nah, I'm not going to PC or change or quit. I want to talk about it. I'm going to fucking say it.
No, I'm glad you said that because it's just people who complain, especially, why the fuck do you go to the show then? If you can't take the joke, then don't go to this. That's part of the game.
Taking the joke is half of it. At least let us finish the punchline. Because I didn't even finish the joke. And she just got triggered when I said politics. Just my premise, just opening it up, just introducing what I'm about to talk about. And she just got a conniption and no, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, and don't mention his name. And then the guy in the back likes him, so she doesn't want to mention his name, but this guy loves him. I'm not even talking about him, but he falls under politics, and it's just fucking mayhem. Yeah, it's triggered, yeah. The trigger. It's fucking nuts. So yeah, half of it is just shut up and listen, and either you like it or you don't. And you got to remember, it's a buffet of jokes. You're not going to like everything. It's like a regular buffet. You try this, you try that, you take more of this. You just listen to the whole act. Nope, I don't think anybody does. Very few, a solid thing about politics or whatever the case. Some people are sensitive about rape jokes. Okay, but if a comic is doing 10 minutes, it's not 10 minutes of rape. It's probably just one bit. Yeah. Don't fucking lose your shit.
Yeah, no, George Lopez is one of my favorites, and I think I've seen all his comedy specials, and I
have his book, yeah.
Oh, the 3 books? The one that he did it was like 40 minutes of politics, and I'm like, dude, that's not you. You just did something that, yeah. So I could see what you're saying. Like, he was probably going for what was popular instead of the.
What? That good point. And that's the other side of the spectrum. So we're just complaining about the PC, the community, and the audience. But then comedians got triggered too, and they went extreme. Yeah. I remember the article where George Lopez was doing a fundraiser, and this is a private event where he got hired to do comedy, and it may have been a right-wing fundraiser, and he starts talking about the left, and I guess they took him off, or he didn't get paid, but it didn't work out. For George, I love George. I love his book, Why You Crying. I read it like 4 times. I connect with the man. I feel a bond. I never met him, and I saw him at Radio City, but yeah, he went way there, and there's a lot of comedians that just went way left, way other political, and I'm like, is that you? Are you just you're like getting your emotion? It's like on Facebook how people get all emotional. They get, oh my god, and then they dive into this emotional abyss of politics or whatever. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's just stick to what you know. So for some people, it may be their awakening, but not for everybody. I don't know.
I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about the Kill Tony. How was your experience? I know it was about 3 weeks ago?
It was back in April. Yeah, it was back in April. I was doing a month. Yeah, I was running around all of Texas, Dallas, Central Texas, Austin, San Antonio. Kill Tony. I've heard about it. I've seen clips. I saw it from a distance because he was in LA doing it, but I know it was a hot thing and comics getting up and stuff like that. And I believe he came to New York for a quick second, and then he settled in Texas. So here I am in Austin, and my boy, Tim Warner, who's a New York comedian who's out of Austin now, was telling me about it. He was like, yo, it's great. I did it twice. It's worldwide. I got people from South Africa hitting me up, and he's hyping it up. I'm like, okay. He goes, you got to do it. You got to do it. So I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm down. It sounds like fun. I've seen it. I guess I didn't understand. Like, I seen it, and I'm down. But I didn't know what it really was. And I seen clips, but I never seen the whole show. So now I'm there on my first Monday, and I sign up, and I'm watching the whole show, and I'm like, oh shit. Because most of the comedians are eating it. Most of the comedians, I mean, with all due respect, but 60 seconds, they weren't making it happen in 60 seconds. That's hard. That's very hard. It was maybe like only, if they had a dozen comedians, maybe 1 or 2 were pretty good, if not better. Most of them are eating it, and I'm watching the panel, Red Band, Tony, and the whatever special guests are letting them have it. And I'm like, nah. I was like, my nerves were fucking, I was fucking nervous. It was like, I was like high. I was like, oh, I thought I had my material, I was prepared, but watching everyone get eaten alive and made fun of and talk stupid shit, I was like, nah. And so I was like, fuck. I was in my head. I was sweating. I was like, this shit is fucking, nah, not me. I ain't going out like that. I ain't going out like a sucker. Nah, fuck. And I was like, so we went through the night. I didn't get called. The following Monday, I went back. I'm cool. I said, I got these 60 seconds. I got it. I know I got it. In New York, you come up with auditions 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. There's 2 minute mics, 3 minute mics. So I've been through that and I failed miserably. So I got this. I was dead set. I got this. I got the bits. I'm coming out like Mike Tyson in his prime. This is going to be a 1-round knockout. So on that confidence, I knew because they basically, if you don't do well, they shit on you and they hit you. So I figure I got this. So they're not going to shit on me. That's what I thought. I got this. They're not going to shit on me. So they call my name. Boom. Downstairs. Adrenaline. I don't know if you can see in the video, but I was pumped. I was jacked. So everyone says, oh, you look good. You look good. I was jacked. The adrenaline, the blood, the urine, the testosterone was pumping. And if you notice, I didn't even say hello. As soon as I went on stage, I went straight to the mic. I didn't even say hello. I just went, boom, grabbed the mic and went. Because it's 60 seconds and I wasn't wasting. And I did my material, pow, and yo, thank you. And I know I got it. So now I turn to them and I'm fucking set up. I'm like, yeah, bring the niceness, bring the positive in. And they gave me props. New York comedian, you did good, blah, blah, blah. But then it took a twist.
Yeah, man. That damn twist, I was like, whoa, shit.
It took a twist. And for everybody who's watching, they've done like 500 episodes, so they're good at analyzing. And they took apart one of my jokes. I did this joke at least 10 years, 1,000 times. And the premise of the joke is New York City rent. That's the premise. The act out of the joke is me and my wife arguing and accusing each other of cheating. But that's the act out. But nobody really, I've done it 1,000 times. Nobody saw it for that. The premise was the rent is so high in New York City, I can't afford to get a divorce. That's the joke. And when they start talking, they go, oh, and they didn't see the joke. They just saw, oh, so you cheat.
Boom.
And I was like, oh, nobody's ever gone there. Nobody's ever gone. Nobody's ever questioned that. They just saw that, oh, so you cheat on your wife. Oh, and then they just took it somewhere. And I was just like, my ass puckered up. My ass. I've never been there before. Nobody's mentioned it or asked it, or nobody. It's a good joke. It's a funny joke. There's a punchline. There's an act out, but nobody's. Oh, so you cheat on your wife? No. And this is how many millions of people worldwide are watching, and and they kept digging, and they dug in more questions, and then more questions, and then put your wife on the phone. I'm like, oh fuck, this is going south, and it was my ego just started just dying, and I'm like, I don't know where this is going. Alarms are going off. Help! Get off the subject, and all I can do is okay, and get my wife, and I got her on the cell phone, and thank God it worked out. She was funny, and if you watch it, I cut it. I ended the call real quick because I wasn't going to let it go any further. She said something funny. Everyone got a laugh. I tried to tag it. Thank you, goodbye. Boom. Because I wasn't allowed to let them take it. So it was hot and fast, and it was a hell of a ride.
It was funny because when you called her, I was like, oh shit, please don't answer. Because she was a soldier, man. She made it funny, and you did it. I didn't notice that you ended it, but I thought, oh damn, y'all been together so long. She knows what's up. She understands you. What happened when that show was over? What did you say? Did you say anything after? Like, why the fuck did you call me live?
No, I immediately went outside and I said, thank you and I'm sorry. So it's like a thank you, but I'm sorry. No, you know what? She knows what I do, and she understood, and she was willing to play along. And the fact of the matter was, she got a kick out of it because around the house, around anywhere, I'm the comedian. Especially around the house. She tries to be funny. She's not. She tries to be funny. She's not. But in this moment, in this hot second, she killed it. And she hasn't stopped rubbing it in my face. Now, I'm funny, I told you. But so she knows me. It's no secret that I speak about. I'm honest on stage. I want to be honest about myself and my life. So I put it out there. I just wasn't prepared to put that little piece out there yet. It was just like a little smidge. That would have came out later, but I wasn't prepared. And they pulled it out, and wifey saved it. So it worked out. She was cool. She actually ended up coming down to Dallas a week later, and she spent the last week with me in Texas. So I made up for it.
Yeah, man. The Austin scene's just blowing up with the comedians. I know that when Joe Rogan came in there, it's like Hollywood now. Everyone's coming.
Let me tell you, props and shout out to all of Texas, because the Austin scene, obviously, everyone saw it from the outside. My friend Tim Warner was there already. He told me about it. So everyone knew. I was surprised, shocked, and happy about Dallas and Central Texas. It's like, what? This Dallas has a scene. First, I'm up there and I'm like, almost at least 6 nights a week, there's open mics, at least 1, 2, maybe 3. And then they have the independent circuit where they have independent shows. And then they have their main comedy clubs. It's just like a different, a mini ecosystem. They have it. They have all the, yeah, they have it. Wow, you can live here as a comic and get what you need, that's what you need. And then I went to Central Texas, which is where I was stationed in Fort Hood. And I remember Killeen, Texas, Copper's Cove, when they're small little cities or towns, I used to call them. And they've expanded since I've been there. And then they have the scene, something similar. Almost every night there's open mic, and then they have little independent shows, and then they have a comedy club there. They didn't have it when I was there the first time, but now, so they have a little mini scene. I'm like, okay, they have their work. They have something to go to. And then of course Austin is the Mecca now in Texas, obviously, and it's nuts. And it was funny because I felt like I was treated like day one, like a day one comic in some places. I'm not going to name names or point fingers, and I get it. Because it was in New York when I first started, they don't open, the comics don't give you a hug and say, welcome to the club. You know, they look at you like, oh, here's another one. You got to earn respect. Like, they got to see you. It's a fraternity, and you got to, just because you show up, doesn't mean shit. Man. No, if they see you 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, every week, for 3 to 6 months, oh, this motherfucker's down. This motherfucker, all right, he's down. You really gotta show that you're deep, that you're committed, that you're real. Because too many people come and go. Once a week is not, no. Oh, I do 5 open mics a month. Nah, fuck you. Yeah, you gotta come hard, and they gotta see you come hard, because they're coming hard, and you can't be acknowledged if you don't come hard. And when I got to Austin, here I am. Who's this motherfucker? It was like, I didn't bring my resume. I have a New York, okay, guys? But no, there's no resume. There's no phone calls. They're looking at me like, who's this motherfucker? And I got bumped at some open mics. I'm like, yo, come on, man. I was like, I didn't complain. I just did what I had to do. And I went on stage and I showed myself, and I saw some heads turn. Like, oh, this motherfucker he doesn't sound like the other 15 people. So that's what I meant to do in Texas. It's just meet people, make friends, socialize, exchange numbers. I got some offers for some shows next time around. So just dropping seeds, and hopefully they'll grow. But I had a great time, awesome, and there's definitely a scene out there.
Yeah. Hey, Pudge, before I let you go, man, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Quick questions, quick answers, okay? What is the most memorable moment in your career so far?
Most memorable moments in my career so far. Highlight, honestly, it's I guess it's a tie between the Kill Tony and everything that worked out. That was like the biggest thing. That was the last biggest thing. So the last biggest thing was Kill Tony, because my numbers went up on Instagram. People are hitting me up from Europe to Fort Riley, Kansas, some military people, and everyone in between. I was like, wow, this is what it feels like to have a little bit of heat. And I got that. So it was like, wow. And the first time was I got Comedy Time TV, which was like 10 years ago. And that was like, I had to audition, and then boom. And then I did my 5-minute set, and then went out viral and stuff. Those are my peaks right now. A lot of little ones, but just being acknowledged and getting a credit is huge.
Yeah, when it's hot, you gotta keep running and make it happen. That's all we can do. Off stage, do you crack jokes 24/7, or are you serious?
That's funny. It depends. I've been told, like I said earlier, I was a bouncer. So it's funny, as a bouncer, when I told people I was a comedian, they were like, nah, you too serious. Nah, you got that asshole face. Nah, because I was in the military. So I know I present myself, and I was in the security field. So I always have that presence. When I go to the store to buy a cigarette, they think I'm a cop, because I just carry myself it's just, I have the military cop look, and I carry myself, and I was very focused at work. I'm very work oriented. And another job, they called me a Nazi because I was a supervisor in a retail store, security supervisor. So I'm walking very focused and very professional. And my friends were getting all the love because they were socializing, and I took my job serious. So but behind closed doors, yeah, I was clowning like a motherfucker. If I'm comfortable with some people, I'm clowning. Yeah, I'm cracking jokes, especially with family, because they know me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm more an introvert for the most part, but it comes out when I'm comfortable. But when I had a job, I was always serious. Yeah, as a bouncer, they couldn't believe it. And then when I was a comedian and I told them I was a bouncer, they're like, nah, you're too stupid to be a bouncer. You're too funny. How can you be a bouncer? You're too sweet. You're not a bouncer. You're too funny. You're too stupid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I'm complicated.
When you step on stage, do you have any rituals, anything you do?
I gotta have chapstick. I gotta have chapstick is a big thing because early on, my mouth it gets tongue twisted or tongue tied, lips. I gotta have chapstick. No, nothing major. Maybe nerves. Maybe just focus. Just get focused and remind myself. I go through a process in my head. Okay. So that's why I like green rooms. If I'm in New York, it's a more relaxed. But if I'm on the road, I'm a little more thoughtful because I'm doing longer sets. Oh, I never eat. I never eat before a show. I feel heavy. That's the one thing I never do. I never eat before a show because I want to feel, and this is funny, I want to feel light on my feet. Mind you, I'm a fat ass. But I have some energy and I just want to feel light. I want to feel malleable. I want to absorb and move. And so I never eat before a show. I eat after. So that's the one thing. Chapstick and I never eat.
That's good, man. And for those that want to be a comedian, what would be an advice that you would give them?
I've gotten a lot of people come up to me and ask me for advice, or they tell me, I want to be a comedian. What do you say? And I tell them, go be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a teacher, be an astronaut. That's easier. Okay. And the reason I say that is not to sound like a dick, but I want them to know what they're getting into. I want to be honest. And that is a teacher, doctor, astronaut. They all have a path and anybody can walk that path. How do you be a teacher? You go to high school, you go to college, and then you get your master's, and then you can become a teacher. How do you become a lawyer? Okay, you go to college and you go to law school, then you take your bar exam, how do you become an astronaut? Okay, they all have a path. It's not rocket science. They all nursing, whatever, they all have a path. There's no path in comedy. It's a fucking jungle, and you're going in alone, and you got to find your way, make friends, and you got to read, and you got to write, and you got to ask, and a lot of times you don't know, and you can be stuck in that I don't know for years, and you got to teach yourself, and it's draining. That's why having a family is not a good thing. It makes it even worse, and you're the teacher and the student and a peer and a colleague, and there's no path, and there's no timing, and there's no, people will pass you. You will pass. Some people will blow by you. There's no rhyme or reason of who makes it or who doesn't, and everyone's different. Some people are on fast track. I have a buddy of mine who was on that fast track, Chris Stefano. He's about to debut a show on True TV, Backyard Bar Wars. I just saw the commercial, and he wasn't a fast track. So he blew right by me, even though I was doing it before him. But that's just how it works. So you have to be emotionally, mentally, physically prepared. And this is the long game. This is the long game. There's no fast track for everybody. It's very few and far between. In my 15 years, fast trackers were Amy Schumer, Michael Che, Chris Stefano, and there's one more. But that's just 4 in 15 years in the New York scene, which is Comedy Central. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a long haul. So I discourage them initially, but not to be an asshole, just so they're clear on what they're accepting. So and then if they say, fuck it, I want to do it, then I'll be like, cool, hit me up. I'm your Uncle Pudge. You got a question, I'll help you. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll tell you what book to get. You have any questions, holler at your Uncle Pudge. So I'm very, I'm always like, I'm very cool with the young comics. But in the beginning ones, I'm like, you go back to college, just in case.
Earn your time. And those who want to follow you social media wise and see what you're on tour, what's the best place to reach you?
Website, pudgefernandez.com. You go to pudgefernandez.com. My Instagram handle's there, Twitter handle, Facebook handle. I got the Kill Tony clip is up. That's the first thing there is my Kill Tony clip. You can hear my wife and tell me if she's funny or not. Tell me if she's funny because she loves it. I'm like, oh, geez. And then I got some other clips. I got some celebrity photos, and my schedule is going to be going up real soon. And yeah, and if you want to be a comedian, holler at your Uncle Pudge. I'll help you out. But I'm just saying, it's not, be prepared. It's a long fucking haul, and it's emotional, it's mental, it's physical, it's nuts.
I appreciate it, man. Next time you're in town or I'm up there, we'll definitely meet up and hang out, brother. So you can always step down here and let us know what we can do to help you here in Texas, man.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm planning hopefully in October to head back out. So I will let you know.
Good weather. It's not New York weather. But...
yeah, and the Giants are playing the Cowboys, so maybe I'll catch the game.
I'll go Giants. Fuck the Cowboys. All right, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you for your time. We'll catch up, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Anytime.
Take care.